Great rifle, love it to death. Jarrett Rifles builds awesome rifles. Had this stuffed down in the bottom of my pack. Pistol worked flawless. I have not done anything to this pistol other than put these Talon grips. What's up, Internet? Current 1776 here. And as you can see, I got a lot of stuff on my table right here. I actually need to get a bigger table. And I think I've said that in some past videos. 100% need to put on my agenda to build me out a bigger table for doing these tabletop videos. But anyway, why do I have all this stuff sitting on the table here? Well, I figured I'd give you guys a breakdown of my loadout or my gear that I used in the Mammoth Sniper Challenge 2024, which was a couple weeks ago. Just give you an overview of what I used, what I didn't use, what I should have used maybe, and what I forgot or decided not to take, and my mistakes on not taking those few items. Anyway, in case you didn't know, Mammoth Sniper Challenge is a team sniper event. It takes place in Augusta, Georgia at Fort Eisenhower. Used to be Fort Gordon, now it's Fort Eisenhower. It's a 3-day event, 2.5-day-ish event. Basically, you have to, as a team, you have to ruck between stages, shoot those stages. If you miss a ruck time, your team is out of the runnings for finishing the match. You can continue to shoot or you can go home. The goal is to finish all the rucks and finish the match all together. And that's a donkey in case you heard that. This is the first time my best friend and I have ever done this. This is the first time we've ever shot a team-centric match before. We used to, shoot some matches in the past or whatever, but they were just basically just shooting long range, no rucking involved, no teamwork involved or anything like that. So it was a learning experience for both of us. Again, you got to carry everything you need to sustain yourself for those 2.5 days and 2 nights. Food, camping gear, clothing, obviously your shooting gear. I shot a video about the Battlbox single man bivvy. Kind of last minute decided not to do those. My teammate Kristen, best friend, literally a brother, he was doing some research and he found a 2-man tent that was lighter than just one of our single man tents. So we decided we're gonna get that and give that a try because it would allow us the ability to keep our gear dry as well in the event of rain and it not be crowding us. So it was a 2-man tent. It was made by Tarp Tent, about 2 pounds, somewhere between the 2 and 3 pound stage, and it used trekking poles to pitch the tent. Excellent tent, and definitely will probably use that again next year. So had a pillow here, very lightweight pillow. Matter of fact, this was my dad's that he used when we would go hunting, go to hunting camp. It's a My Pillow, just a small My Pillow. Packs, you can compress it down really good. So I had this stuffed down in the bottom of my pack. I used the Climate Static V2, fairly lightweight. The R value isn't great. It's a 1.3 R value, but comfortable. I slept well on this, but it did get pretty cool at night. I want to say it was in the 30s. So I did put a space blanket or an emergency blanket between the pad and the bottom of the tent, and that helped quite a bit. So it helped insulate me from the ground a little better than what the pad would in of itself. So I packed this real lightweight space blanket. I also took this Flex Tail Tiny Pump X. This right here is a small pump. So this pump is used to inflate your mattresses. It also has a light on it, so you can hang it up in the tent, use it as a light. Has 3 levels there, and then of course attachments to different pads or whatever. So it's a great way to quickly inflate, and you can use it to deflate your sleeping mattress. As far as clothing is concerned, I went pretty minimalistic on the clothing. I put my clothing in this little bag here. This is the packaging from Eberlestock that my pack came in. So I double dutied it for a way for me to consolidate my clothing. So I ended up switching over, wanting to give a try to the VERTX brand, VERTX brand of clothing. Probably one of the best decisions I made for this match, and honestly, over the course of this year, I'm going to be trying to get to where majority of the clothing I wear is a VERTX clothing. Basically, all I wore was a pair of VERTX pants. These are the I think they're the Delta Stretch 2.1s, I think. Kind of a greenish color. But what's really cool about these pants are they dry pretty quick if they get wet. They got some stretch to them, which is good, especially if you're running. There was a stage where we had to traverse some concrete stairs that had barbed wire over the top of it, so we had to get down low and kind of, I mean, I'm a big guy. That was a little tough with pack and rifle, so having some pants that had some stretch to them were really good. But what I love about them is on each side here on the side, I had a pistol mag pocket here, so I didn't have to worry about having mag holders on my belt. And also here you've got your typical rear pocket, but just above that rear pocket is another pocket. In that pocket you can put rifle mags in. So I did not have to worry about taking mag holders for my pistol nor my rifle. I was able to utilize the pants to do that, and worked perfect, worked absolutely perfect. They're gusseted. They've got kind of a pleat area in the knee so that you don't have any binding in your knee area when you're kneeling or crawling or anything like that. Check out VERTX, VERTX, freaking amazing. Okay, so I had those on. These are the only pants I wore the whole time. Inside this pouch here, which is actually an Eberlestock pouch that the backpack came in. So I'll go over the backpack in a little bit, but it came in this little bag right here. I used this little bag to put my clothes in. So had four changes of socks, so 5 pairs of socks, including the ones I had on. This here is a VERTX, just kind of like an athletic long sleeve kind of base layer. So day one I had this on with just a t-shirt over top and the pants. And then at night I took off all those clothes and I put on the VERTX merino wool base layer. Holy crap, these are freaking amazing. So it got down pretty dang cold and it was raining. Wind was blowing pretty good. All I had on were these, a pair of socks, and my blanket here that I was using, and I was toasty warm, slept like a baby. It was freaking perfect. These are great. They're tight fitting, but I mean, if you know anything about merino wool, you know this stuff is freaking jam up, right? So basically like a pair of long johns. It has pretty cool little pockets here on the side in case you want to put your phone or put a battery pack or something there to help keep that warm in the cold so you don't drain unnecessary battery power. But these were the bottom base, and then the top actually is like a hoodie. So it's the same material, and what they've done in certain areas, I mean, VERTX is freaking so smart on this. Well, they got the armpit areas gusseted. They got any high wear areas a little bit more reinforced, but it's got the hood to it as well. So I originally was going to sleep wearing a little lightweight beanie like this, and I didn't even need to. I just put this hood over my head and my head stayed warm. I mean, again, slept like a baby. Merino wool is the way to go. It wicks moisture away from you, dries quickly, and of course keeps you warm, and it's lightweight. Obviously weight is a big deal with this since you got to carry everything with you for the 2.5 days. And I got some socks. This is my other socks are in the wash, so I got one pair of socks that I did not use. I'm using Mud Gear merino wool rucking socks. Really comfortable socks. They don't slip around on your foot, do anything stupid like that. So, oh yeah, and then I had the beanie. Put this on, I believe it was day 2. I wore this early because it was cold while we were shooting versus a ball cap. Then I used this headlamp here, just a really lightweight silicone band headlamp. We started rucking and started our days off in the dark, and we finished in the dark. So having a good headlamp worked out great. And this headlamp's got an angle to it. You kind of need to turn your bill around if you're not wearing a beanie or something like that, because it's going to hit the bill of your hat. But it's a great headlamp, especially when you're in a crowd, because you're not shining a freaking light in everybody's faces. It kind of goes down, and it's not so intrusive if you still have your light on and you're talking to somebody. But good lamp right there, extremely lightweight, battery lasts the whole time, and it don't slip around in your head because of the silicone band, which is nice. What's next? Rain gear. So, as you can see, I got a little Frog Dog bag here. Frog Dogs are great because they're stupid lightweight. They're a little too thin and too fragile for what we were doing. So in the morning we had to walk to our briefing area. I don't know, it was just short of a mile maybe. I don't know, something like that, maybe a mile. By the time I got to briefing Saturday morning in the rain, the pants were ripped. I mean, they were absolutely ripped. So the jacket held up to having the pack on, but it wouldn't last long just from the friction of the pack on the shoulders. So this was a mistake. I did it because of weight. What I did not take was my rain gear that I had packed. And this is great rain gear, great pants, great jacket, got a hood on it, quite a bit heavier than the Frog Dogs. So the night before the match, my teammate and I were very quickly going through our gear and just getting rid of stuff that we felt like we didn't 100% need due to weight. I quickly learned throughout this experience, you know, you always hear the ultralight backpackers talk about how ounces equal pounds and yada, yada, yada. It's true. Like shucking a half a pound out of your pack makes a difference. So last minute, the night before, we went to Bass Pro Shops in Augusta and we grabbed some Frog Dogs. They did not work out for us well at all. They're great for fishing, being pretty much steel, but if you're doing a lot of moving, they're gonna tear all to pieces. So the mistake was not taking these. Had I took these, I would have been dry and all would have been good. So that was a learning experience. Last of clothing would be my boots or shoes. So I was gonna run the GoRuck, was it Mavics? GoRuck Mavic 2 boots. They're not waterproof. I knew it was going to rain. I was concerned about that, so I went with these HOKA SPEEDGOATs, which are Gore-Tex. So if you know anything about running and stuff like that, HOKA is a pretty popular brand, a very comfortable shoe, and it kept my feet dry. But my feet weren't necessarily happy other than when it was raining because I just don't like Gore-Tex. My feet sweat, and they say Gore-Tex will wick moisture. That's bullcrap. If you've had good experience with Gore-Tex, good on you, but I have not. So my feet did sweat in these. I didn't have any foot issues simply because I missed a rucking the first day. So I was done rucking after the first morning. So overall, had I completed the rucks, I probably would have been miserable in these. So I need to figure out a better boot solution, or go with my GoRuck boots and just deal with the fact that they do have a port in them, and they say you can walk your feet dry in them. So maybe I'll just test those out throughout the rest of this year in some wet situations and go with the GoRuck boots next year. One more piece of clothing I forgot. So my jacket that I took, or my coat, this is the Integrity Plus P jacket. Freaking amazing. Like, when I say I'm 100% going to try to switch out all my clothing to VERTX gear, I'm not freaking lying. So this is the Integrity Plus P jacket. Pack it down really tight, if you want. So it's kind of like a puffy jacket, but it doesn't have like the grid squares or whatever like a puffy jacket does. Excellent hood that has a cinch cord here on the back so that you can cinch it to your hat really well, so you can get it where it just fits just over your bill or right here, and it doesn't move. Kept me incredibly warm and not hot. So the technology in this, and I can go over this in another video when I'm a little bit more well versed in it. The technology in this is, their clothing is designed, or this specifically is designed to help keep your core temperature regulated. So I never got hot in this jacket. I never got cold in this jacket. It was perfect, okay? Perfect. It held up to the straps when I had it on. I had this jacket on majority. I don't think I took it off at all during the match. Carrying the pack, no issues, didn't wear out the shoulders at all. extremely warm, durable, lightweight, big pockets. I'm able to, you know, if I wanted to throw a mag in here, or if I wanted to throw anything of any size in here. Pockets here in the front, you got your typical side pockets. The back is a little bit longer, so when you're kneeling or bending over or anything like that, it's not riding up your back and your back getting cold. Very well thought out jacket. All of VERTX's stuff is kind of geared around, I don't know if you want to call it the gray man philosophy or not. Like, their stuff doesn't look tactical, but they are. I mean, they're designed to be very incognito, right? So what's really cool about this jacket is on the inside of the main pocket, there's a zipper right here. So your hand can come all the way through. So let's say in a concealed carry situation, right? You're carrying appendix or anything like that. You can access that through the pocket, through that zipper right there. And then there's hidden pockets, other areas. Stupid good clothing, man, stupid good. So that was my outer shell, if you will, during the entire weekend, was this VERTX Integrity Plus P jacket. Worked excellent. All right, so food. I tried to be really smart in the food department here, okay? So I got to looking around into ways that I could minimize the size of my food. Meals that, you know, you have to rehydrate, like your backpacker style meals. I repackaged them, or I had my wife repackage them for me. Took them out of the original packaging and put them in vacuum seal type bags, right? This is chicken Alfredo pasta. So we did peak refuel meals. It really cut down on the size. So we were able to put all our food in this little stuff sack right here with room to spare. Chocolate chip cookie, really good. Just a quick way for the two of us just to have a quick snack between stages, kind of keep some energy going. Really like peak refuel. I made a couple of these little koozie deals out of just some Reflectix and some foil tape. Basically made a pouch. And what we did was I had just freezer bags. Set the freezer bag in there, cut this open, dumped this into the freezer bag, boiled the water, poured it into the freezer bag, zipped it closed, and closed this little koozie and let it sit for 10 minutes. And it worked amazing. It worked great. So we cut down on some size. I guess technically we cut down on some weight because we got rid of the original packaging. It did really well, to the point where the second morning, Kristen didn't finish his breakfast. He ate about half of it. He closed it back up in this. It sat there for well over an hour. He decided to go back to it, and it was still good and warm, and he was still able to eat his breakfast after an hour of it just sitting in here. I got this idea because I was looking around at lightweight stuff. There's a company called Hyperlight that makes a little pouch, and I think it's made out of Dyneema and something else, so it's a super lightweight pouch that's designed to do what this does. But that thing was like 50 bucks. I was like, if I get two of them, that's 100 bucks, one for each of us. I think it was like 10 bucks. I bought a giant roll of Reflectix and some freaking tape and just made my own. So, and it worked great. What we used to boil our water was this little deal right here. All packs in here. So my stove, my fuel canister, and my container are in this. So this is a 750 milliliter Toaks titanium pot. And what I did was I took the handles off and I put some heat shrink here on the handle because these things get hot. But with the heat shrink, you can still grab it. It's not too hot. You got your top here. I ended up getting the MSR Pocket Rocket Deluxe. Nice small stove here that has an integrated igniter. Very responsive, super hot, boils water quickly. And then I took this little 3.9 ounce fuel canister from MSR. Just this little fuel canister here. Everything fits in the pot, top on, goes into pouch. I got some of these honey stinger waffles here. These are freaking good. These are delicious. So little honey stinger waffles. They're 140 to 150 calories. Carbs are somewhere in the 19 gram to 21 gram area. These are what's left over. I can't remember how many we took, but we went through several of these. And then as far as electrolytes and stuff like that, adding to water, they did supply water. That was the only thing we didn't have to carry or supply ourselves. There was freaking pallets of water everywhere at every stage. So I took some of these Mountain Ops hydrate electrolyte type deals that were in a past mission of Battlbox. This is what's left over. We drank a lot of these. And then for a water solution on my pack, I personally don't hit the mic. I personally don't like Camelbacks and water bladders. They're a pain in the butt to fill, they're a pain in the butt to clean, they're a pain in the butt to dry, they take up space in your pack. I found this on Amazon. I cannot remember the name of it, but since they supplied water in the form of water bottles, you can take this, screw your water bottle to this, because it's got the top that goes on the water bottle. And it comes with multiple different types of tops right here. So if you got like a Gatorade bottle or something like that, you can use it. But I put this one on for a typical water bottle. Goes in there, goes in the side pouch. Run this up your strap and you got hydration while you got your pack on without screwing around with a bladder. It's got quick connects on here, which is really nice. It's also got a quick connect on the mouthpiece here. So it's good, easy to clean, and works on freaking regular water bottles. Yeehaw. No screwing around with a freaking Camelback. All right, so next we're going to talk about my boo-boo kit. That's what we ended up calling it. So this is a little pouch from McNett Tactical that had a microfiber type towel in it. So I took the towel out and made this my boo-boo kit. So in the boo-boo kit, which we only had to get into some moleskin, Kristen ended up getting a couple blisters on the first day. I've got a package of different types of moleskin here and some Luco tape right here for foot maintenance, if you will. Also just brought some super skin bandages, souped up band-aids from My Medic. These things are freaking awesome. They stick and they stay whether you're wet, whether it's in an area of a lot of movement or whatever. These are the best Band-Aids I have ever used. Clean Freak body wipes. You know, you can wipe our pits at night. Johnny Slick's lip balm for lips, obviously, but lip balm works good if you got a zipper or something like that that's acting up. You can rub this on your zippers. And I had Salty Britches in there as well, which is an ointment that you put in high friction areas, and it helps very well. It helps mitigate, you know, getting galled or starting a rash or blisters or anything like that. I let Kristen keep that. He ended up having to use it. If there's anything you would have added to your boo-boo kit, put it down in the comments. We'll have a discussion about it. But that's what we took for little medical boo-boo kit. Tool-wise, we took very little tools, but we took everything that we felt we were going to need, and it actually came in handy for a friend of ours in camp later on the first night. Many of you know that I did a video on the long range toolkit, competition toolkit from Fix-It Sticks. Excellent kit. Got freaking anything and everything you need for pistol or rifle maintenance, quick repairs, things like that. So what we did was I had this smaller kit from Fix-It Sticks right here, and I didn't want to carry all this weight or the size of this throughout the match. So what we did is the night before, we checked all our gear and figured out what bits we would need, and we put them all on this because it's smaller than this, obviously. I ended up taking the ratchet T-handle and the extension out of this and taking these pieces off of this and just putting it on here, and it fits perfect. The little T-handle kind of sticks out to the side, but no biggie. You know, so what? Who cares? We had everything we need. If we needed to tighten down an optic, we were fine. A buddy of mine that was in the match came to me because he knew I had tools on me. He was able to tighten up his action screws on his firearm because they had come loose on him during the match. He was able to tighten those up. I also took a Exotac rip spool kit with my lucky Death Bunny bead from PNW Bushcraft on there. So this supplies us with duct tape if we needed duct tape. Of course, duct tape can fix pretty much anything, obviously. Some cordage here on the end in case we need to repair anything. And then it has, on the inside, as a sail needle. If something tore or something broke or something like that, we had to sew it back together or use duct tape to fix something on the tent or fix something on the pack, we were good to go. Did not have to use this, but I'm glad I took it. I took a multi-tool. This is the Leatherman Skeletal. So we took a multi-tool with us in case we needed, you know, a multi-tool. And I did not take a pocket knife because this has a knife on it. I took a First Line synthetic CLP gun oil pen right here in case we needed to, you know, lube up anything on our firearms. Cord for charging my phone. This I've had forever. It's a Swarovski lens cleaning kit. A friend of mine gave this to me years ago when I was a videographer for the outdoor industry. Our range finding binos. This is what we use to keep that clean and keep our optics clean on our pistol and on our rifles. So it has lens cleaner. It's a pretty cool little brush. It's kind of like a, I guess like a lipstick type design, but you can twist this and you get a nice soft brush so you can brush dust and dirt out of pesky areas on your optics. And then it has a cloth, and then it has some alcohol base wipes right there. All right, so also took some Ruck and River trekking poles, which were great. They worked great, functioned fine. I had a set of these as well as Kristen, and also we used 2 of these to pitch our tarp tent, which worked out excellent. So no complaints about these. They didn't get loose, they didn't fail, they didn't do anything. We could also, if need be, can use this as an improvised rest if need be. So trekking poles were a good thing to take. So now let's get into some of the shooting gear. So I took, for a bag, I took this Armageddon Gear mini game changer. So this is the small game changer with light feel in it. So I mean, I don't know how much it weighs, but it's pretty light, especially in comparison to my other game changer. So this is the Armageddon Gear Schmedium game changer with heavy sand feel. So this has got sand in it. I don't know, man, this thing's probably 8 pounds or so, 8 or 9 pounds. This is nothing, but it's just a smaller version of that. And this is what I used on some barricades, and this is what I used as a rear bag when we were over a barricade with bipod deployed or shooting prone. I would use this as a rear bag and squeeze it to adjust my elevation. So this was a good thing to take. And then I had this little, just cheap, you know, little cinch bag here that I kept my ammo and my mags and stuff like that in, so I could just quickly yank this out of my pack. I kept it at the top of my pack. I could just yank it out of my pack. It had everything that I needed. Some Wiley X shooting glasses. Actually didn't use these, so shooting glasses were recommended, or eye protection was recommended but not required. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't stand shooting, at least rifle, I can't stand shooting rifle with eye protection on. I just don't like it. So I didn't even use these, but these are the Wiley X. I forget which ones these are, but shooting glasses. Probably won't take this next year. Not that it weighs anything, but it takes up space in the pack. But great glasses nonetheless, just didn't use them. I took my Kestrel. So this is a ballistic solver, in case you don't know. It takes atmospheric conditions, temperature, barometric pressure, yada, 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 wind speed, all that sort of stuff. So this is a Kestrel, and you can use this to help get your dope, your data on previous engagement, in case you don't know what dope stands for. These things are great. Only broke it out one time other than our range day. Unless they give you the distances, you don't know the distances of these targets. And I quickly learned, even if they give you the distances of it, they're probably screwing with you. Because on one stage, the distances were not correct that they gave us. Quickly figured that out. We had these armbands here, which we wrote our dope on. So we'd range a target. If it was 200 yards, I know I'm 0.5 mils. Or if I was shooting 800 yards, I'm 7.8 mils, and it works out good. So we would range for each other when we could. And basically when we got our range, you have this on your wrist, you know, kind of like a quarterback, you know, playbook. Have this on our wrist, calls out the distance. You can look on here and figure out what your dope is. So I had my dope, and then on the inside I had Kristen's dope, but we ended up, when we would be told what we had to shoot, I would write on, we had extra cards with us. We would write on a card like this one. I had a 75% torso that I had to engage, a 75% torso with plate carrier and 3 movers, and then how many times I had to shoot it. So I had to hit the 75% torso once, the plate carrier once, the movers 3 times. We would write that down during the stage briefs. I'd slide that up in here just to help stay on task and not get messed up. Because they would tell you stuff like you had to shoot such and such a target on a blue post. Well, there might be 3 or 4 out there on yellow post and green post and red post. It's very easy to be like, oh, there it is, and shoot it, and it's the wrong color post. Where here I could write blue post, yellow post, blah, 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 and I did screw up on one regardless anyway. I think a lot of us did. I've got a Write in the Rain pad so that I could write down any other information that I may need. And then I used a space pen, Fisher space pen, to do all my data collection. So this armband is from Sunrise Tactical Gear. That's where I purchased it. Works really good. It's got 3 bungee straps on there. You put it on and then you just cinch the strap to your arm. So we both had one of these. Kestrel, I'm not gonna throw that over there. I kept my rifle ammo loose inside the main compartment of this orange bag. And I kept my pistol ammo and my mag loader in this Tough Possum Gear pouch right here. Works great for pistol, and it lays flat, so when you're loading your mags, when it has weight in it and you pull it apart like that, it stays open and it's easy to grab ammo. So Tough Possum Gear makes freaking awesome pouches. Handmade in the USA, small business, family owned. They do a great job. Love those guys. What else we got? We got hearing protection. Obviously, you need to wear ear pro. So I got these for Christmas from my family. These are the Axel. I don't know which model these are. They're not the Bluetooth where you listen to music or anything. They're just strictly hearing enhancement or hearing protection. Little earbuds right here. So just pop those in your ear. You can double tap them or single tap them to change the level of protection or the level of enhancement. They work great. They lasted the whole match on one. I think the last stage I started getting a beep telling me that the battery was fixing to die on it. So it lasted, you know, through all the matches or all the stages that we shot. 2 pistol mags for my Canik here, 18 rounds a piece. So when you go up to the stage, you could have one in your pistol, but no round chambered. And then I had one in one of my little side pocket. And then I took 2 10-round rifle mags, and then I have a little bit of ammo left over. So I took 85 rounds of pistol. I think I came home with 8 or 9 rounds. And I took 131 rounds of rifle. My partner did the same, and we came home with quite a bit of rifle rounds left over. It was our first match. I mean, we didn't fire a single rifle shot in the first 2 stages. No, take that back. I fired 3 in the first stage. Maybe it was the second. Second stage, we didn't fire a single rifle shot. In third stage, I don't think we fired a rifle shot. But 2 10-rounders for the rifle. I'd run DARA, D-A-R-A, holster and magazine holders and things like that. And I typically have, use a core battle belt. I did not take this belt. Reason why is I was going to use my pants for holding my mags. So there wasn't no need for me to have mags attached to a belt. And I didn't know like if there was going to be stages when we weren't allowed to take our pack off, and I got this large waistband on my pack. Is it going to, hinder my ability to get to my mags or anything like that? And I didn't want to have to tote a belt in my pack and then have to put it on and do all that. So this is from SOE. I've had this belt and another one just like it maybe 12 years. Excellent belt. I mean, it's held up. I wore the freaking crap out of it. It's a great everyday belt because it has some rigidity, but it's not as rigid as a battle belt. It's got a Cobra buckle on it. So basically what I did was I ran my DARA quick release or quick detach deal right here on my belt the whole time. And these were on my pants, so they weren't like an overbelt or anything. And then it's got a leg strap here, and I just disconnect the leg strap and tuck it down in my pocket when I didn't need it on my leg tight. So that's pretty much what I went with for a belt, and worked great, had no issues with it. SOE makes great gear, and again, I've had this belt for like 12 years, and it's never failed me. The Velcro's starting to slowly get worn, but for a 12-year-old belt, thoroughly happy with it. So I've got the Canik SFX Rival 9mm. Love this pistol. Excellent value as well. This pistol is not expensive at all. Running a Delta Point Pro loopholed red dot on top. Let me take this protective cover off of it. It is clear, no mag. No round in the chamber, okay? For you safety police out there. So, ran this pistol, did excellent. We did excellent on all stages with pistol until the last stage. And that was on me. I had a mental wipeout on the sequence that I was supposed to shoot, and I screwed my sequence up. Other than that, did great with pistol. That was one of our goals, was to shoot well in pistol, get those pistol points, and we did pretty well with that. So the pistol worked flawless. I have not done anything to this pistol other than put these Talon grips on here. It's basically like skateboard grip tape that's pistol specific to fit the pistol. Fits excellent in the hand, nice and grippy. Mag changes went well, everything went well. The pistol performed great. I used the DARA level 2 retention holster. Worked flawless, and well, you ain't got to worry about your pistol falling out, even because it's got the strap here on the back, and it's got this button here. So when you go to draw, your thumb hits that, it drops the retention, and you can pull the pistol out. So works great. Other great thing about this system is it's quick detach. So I could very quickly put this onto my belt, and it's not going anywhere. Absolutely not going anywhere. Safe. Pistol is secure. If I have to crawl, go up and down steps, run, do anything, I don't have to worry about the pistol at all. Very secure. When I'm done and I want to take it off, it just pops right off, and I can put this in the pack. Excellent company. They're out of North Carolina. They make a plethora of holsters and mag carriers, etc., etc. So this is the pack that we used. We both had a pack just like this, identical. You got to have your safety belt or your reflective belt while you're rucking on base. So this is the Eberlestock Vapor 5000 on their E-Mod frame system. So as you can see here, it's got this shelf, some meat shelf. This is kind of a hunting pack design. You can take this pack off of the frame, and you can put like an elk quarter on there, put the pack back over that, cinch it over it. The elk quarter sits on this meat shelf, and you can pack your meat out and stuff like that. So one of the main reasons we got these packs is we're planning on doing a backcountry, elk or mule deer hunt this year, and we're going to need this anyway, so we've decided to use it for Mammoth. It's a little bit heavy. I want to say it's like 8 pounds with just the pack and the frame and the lid. They have a lighter option by like overall 3 pounds in their, I think there's their mission line. But it performed great, it worked well, very comfortable. You got an adjustable yoke up here, you got load lifters, you got a very nice, I guess, kidney area pad. I don't know the technical term for it. The padding is raised very well, you get pretty good airflow through there. The waist belt is wide and comfortable. I added this Eberlestock pouch right here onto the side. This is what we kept our snacks in, so they were pretty quick access. You didn't have to go down into the pack to get your snacks. It zips onto the frame. You got a zipper keeper here. So it literally zips to the frame. So you can get different packs. It's called their E-mod system. So you buy the frame, and then there's tons of different packs that go to the frame. They zip onto the frame. They've got dry bags that zip onto the frame. They got meat bags that zip, I mean, everything. And it's got laser cut moly down the inside of the pack, or the back side of the frame. I got webbed into the moly a bolt action scabbard. So the pack is outside, or the scabbard is between the frame and the pack, which allows you to take your rifle, slide it inside this scabbard between the pack and the frame, the buttstock of your rifle sticking up out the top. And then they've got a top piece that can go over that and clips into this for, you know, rain protection. Worked great. I mean, get your rifle in there, cinch everything down really good. You don't have wobble or anything aggravating. It keeps the weight of the rifle close to your back. It's a great system. I have really no complaints whatsoever. It's a roll top design. So, I mean, it's freaking tall as crap. Like, if you were to pack this thing completely out, it'd be this freaking tall, right? But you roll the top down, roll it down like a dry bag, clip it in. It also has front access to the interior. So what I would do is I'd take my blanket, I'd stuff my blanket down in the bottom. I didn't use a stuff sack. I just stuffed the blanket down there, put my pillow on top of it, other sleep gear on top of that, and just work my way up and try to get most of my weight with my ammo and my other gear, you know, up towards the top half of the pack. And it worked out perfect. It's got interior pockets, a nice rigid frame, and here on the front it's got another pocket. So I kept other stuff in here. In addition, I got the top lid, some people call it the brain, to go over the top. That's where I kept like my notepad and all that sort of stuff to access without having to get down into the pack. But the pack worked great. I think I could have went with the Vapor 2500 instead of the 5000 because I didn't fill this thing completely up. Had I not been just stuffing my sleep stuff in the bottom of this, I would have only barely used a third of this pack. So it was more capacity than I think I needed. So next year I'm either going to go with a completely different system, or I'm going to probably go with either the dry bag or the 2500 instead of the 5000 in the pack itself. But it worked great. I dig it. Just wish it was a tick lighter. All right, so let's talk about the blanket here. This has become one of my most favorite pieces of gear right here. This is from One Wind. This is their Topquilt Poncho XL Deluxe, I think is what it's called. And a little backstory about how I came across One Wind. So when I went to Georgia Bushcraft, I didn't take proper sleep gear to stay warm, and it got freaking cold, okay? It got into the 20s. And the first night I about froze to death. I was miserable the first night. I was really, really cold. So JJ Morris from Fuel the Fires was out there in the same camp I was in, and I was talking to him that morning. He asked how I slept. I said, horrible. I mean, I shivered all freaking night, couldn't get any sleep. He had one of these extra in his vehicle and loaned it to me for the rest of the Georgia Bushcraft event. So warm, like nothing but my underwear and a pair of socks, and this completely warm. So excellent blanket. And I'm not a huge fan of sleeping bags. I don't like being completely in something. So what's cool about this is it's got buttons here down the sides, about from your knee down. You can button it together, and then on the very end it has this cinch cord. So when you cinch it up, it bunches up the bottom, and you could tie it off, and it makes a foot box. So now you basically have a foot box from, you know, shin area down to your feet that you're completely covered all the way around, but the rest of it just lays on you like a blanket. And it's very lofty, packs down really, really tight, but when you leave it out and you get some air in it, I mean, you get a good 1.5 to 2 inches of loft in this thing, and it is so freaking warm. It's stupid warm. It has up towards the top, which is here, so your head will be over here, your feet be down here. Up towards the top, it's got these pockets here, not pockets, slats here. So, you know, if you want to get your hand through, you're on your phone, or you want to grab something and you don't want to completely take the blanket off of you, you can just reach through here, do whatever you're going to do, eat your snack, look on your phone or whatever, and you don't have to, you know, take the blanket off of you. Halfway down, well, a little more than halfway down, I say 2/3 of the way down, you can see another series of buttons here. You can, if you wanted to, you can unbutton 2 or 3 of the centers here, throw this over your head through, right, and drape it around you, cinch it up, and got a poncho, or a poncho liner. You can put this on and then put a poncho over top of it, and basically it's a poncho liner. Or you can completely take this off. You can take the bottom piece, put it around your waist and cinch it, and with the cinch cord, and basically have a warming layer. If you're sitting down, you want your legs warm, you can drape this over your shoulders. So freaking modular, but I'm telling you, it is so warm. The feel it's a synthetic type feel from DuPont, I believe it is. Mimics down pretty well, and it's sleek, and you lay this thing out and you take your hands and you do this right here a little bit, and it lofts up and your freaking butt is warm. I promise you, this thing's freaking amazing. So this is what I used just to sleep in, and I had nothing but my merino wool base layer on, the hood of the merino wool base layer over my head, and this, and was 100% happy, comfortable, and slept well. I guess last is the rifle, right? As you can see, it's sitting on a tripod. Did not take a tripod. Wanted to take a tripod, but I had not yet received it. It was on order and it showed up the week after the match. Really wasn't hindered by not having a tripod. There was some stages where I think a tripod would have been a good thing to have, but it didn't mess us up not having one. Definitely probably going to take it next year. This is a lightweight carbon fiber tripod with ARCA clamp and Picatinny clamp, so it'll do ARCA or Picatinny. I've got an ARCA rail on my rifle here. Yeah, we used our packs a few times. Like, we'd set the pack up and put our rifle on our pack when we needed to. So this is my rifle. There are many like it. This one is mine. And there's not a whole lot like it, I guess, technically. So this started off life, I got this rifle back in 2015, started off life as a Remington 700 Police, chambered in .308. It was all black. Can't remember what scope I had on it at the time, but I mean, it was a pretty good rifle. It was a half-minute rifle. Did pretty well over the years, but over the last couple years, I pretty much shot the barrel out. The groupings were horrible. So, as you can see now, it's camouflaged. I've got a Jarrett Rifles barrel on it. So I had Jarrett Rifles put me a barrel on it. I believe it's a 9-twist barrel, 24 inches long. Blueprinted action, accurized, low development on it. We got rid of the swivel studs and put flush cups on it. Got my length of pull where it needed to be. Got a decelerator pad put on it. Changed the bolt knob, extended it out, made it a little bit bigger, so it's easier to manipulate than a stock bolt handle. Obviously it's clear. I've got a chamber flag in there, U-tube, so relax. I got an AccuTac, I think this is the BR4 bipod here, that attaches to the ARCA rail here on the bottom. So I put a Area 419 ARCA rail here on the bottom. It's got a Trigger Tech trigger. I believe it's the Trigger Tech diamond trigger. Got it set just shy of 1.5 pounds. I got the thing here from Short Action Precision where you can put 2 cartridges right there. You know, in case you run out of your mag, you'll have 2 that you could single feed. I didn't change the chambering, so this is a 308. I don't know if you can see it there. It says barreled by Jarrett. Arkin EP5, I think it's 5 by 25 by 56 with a 34 millimeter tube. Excellent freaking scope. There's some people that crap on a freaking Arkin, but let me tell you, I've shot a lot of scopes. I've shot a lot of high-end scopes. To me, there's nothing in the 2,000 and under range in price that are substantially better in any way than this Arkin scope right here. I've been running it for a while. It did well in the match. It tracks well. Got zero stop. I love the reticle. It's a solid scope, and it was like 500 bucks. So I mean, I've got a rifle that's arguably probably worth $5,500, $6,000 with a $500 scope on it. So the whole adage of spend as much or more on the scope as you do your rifle isn't necessarily true anymore, folks. It's first focal plane. It's smooth. It tracks well. I'm shooting really well with this. This is a quarter minute and better gun right here. And some people are like, yeah, whatever. No, it is like a 0.217 group, a .097 group. The worst group out of this was a .372. It's a quarter minute gun and better. And it shoots great. If I've got the freaking yardage right and I do my part, this is gonna do its part. Great rifle, love it to death. Jarrett Rifles builds awesome rifles, and they make awesome barrels, and they make rifles that flat out shoot. And if it don't, they trash it and they'll build another one. So that's what's my rifle. I shot secondary shooter. So you got a primary and secondary, and really the only difference is secondary has to shoot 308 or 5.56 223. Primary can shoot whatever they want as long as it's, you know, I believe under 3,200 feet per second, and it's not a Magnum cartridge. So the Creedmoors, as long as it's not a Magnum and it's under the speed limit, primary can shoot that. So I don't know, if I were to do anything different next year, if I were to shoot something other than this, if I were to not shoot a secondary, I don't know. I've got a Creedmoor, a 6.5 Creedmoor. It's heavy. This right here was somewhere just above 14 pounds. I really want to go lighter next year if I can. I'm really thinking about building a gas gun and running 223 next year because of weight. Number one, I mean, the ammo for this, in addition to the ammo for my pistol, was right at 10 pounds. So, I mean, I just had 10 pounds in ammo, 14 pounds in rifles. That's 24 pounds without magazines. I can shed a lot of weight by going with a gas gun next year. Weight's a big deal. So I stepped off Friday morning at about 53 pounds. I'd love to be in the 40s. And I think I can do it if I did a gas gun. The range finding binoculars that we used were Swarovski. I think it was a BL something model. I mean, I don't remember exactly what it was, but a friend of ours had a set of those, and we used that. So that was one of our troubles in the match, was you have to find the targets, you have to range the targets, and you have to engage the targets. And then you got to tell you got to tell your partner where the freaking target is or whatever if you're spotting for him. So communication's a big deal. We had some hiccups early on with that. We got better as the match went on. I missed ruck first day. Kristen missed ruck second day. Technically, we were out of the running for completing the match, but we were allowed to continue shooting. So we shot throughout the entire match and went to the award ceremony and everything, which I'm glad we did because we learned a lot. And we saw what it took to finish the match. And they call it the Mammoth Sniper Challenge for a reason, and it ain't freaking easy. I mean, there's guys that do this crap for a living that were at this thing. Professional shooters and guys in the military that are straight up snipers. Like, that's what they do. It's not easy. However, I do encourage you, if you are into that and you want to try it, because it'll open your eyes to a lot of things that you need to improve on physically, mentally, and in your shooting ability. So we need to work on our communication, and the the task of finding, ranging, communicating that, putting the rangefinder down, getting on the rifle, having to find it again takes time. So a lot of guys were running the VERTX Impact 4000, which is a rangefinder that mounts to your rifle, and you use your scope on your 0 to range, and it gives you your data. A lot of people were running those, and I saw a lot of advantage from that because it took away the find it, range it, find it again. Like you're having to find a difficult to find target 2 to 3 times. That way you're only really having to find it 1 time. You can range it, stay on it, engage the target. So that's something I need to get before next year and get proficient with, I believe. Work on that communication and work on that physical fitness to be able to ruck 30 to 40 miles over 3 days. But another thing I forgot to bring was my spork. So forgot to pack my spork, so my teammate and I had to share a spork. No big deal, it is what it is, but luckily he didn't forget his, and we didn't have to like use our fingers, right? Go in the woods and get a stick and whittle a freaking spoon out of a stick. And one thing that we elected not to bring that we should have brought was our rain cover for our packs, designed specifically for this pack right here. We got a little bit overzealous trying to figure out what the rain was going to do. So the forecast said, you know, it was going to be pretty much done by 5:30 in the morning. So we were thinking, well, if it's still lingering around a little bit, these packs are water resistant. As long as it ain't a freaking downpour, our packs aren't going to get wet. This weighs quite a bit, so let's scrap this and not take it. We should have took it because it rained longer than we were expecting. Our packs and everything in it got wet. That next morning, which was the Saturday morning, they delayed the shooting because fog had set in and the spotters couldn't see the targets to, you know, verify impact. Nor could the shooters see them, and the spotter can't see them, the shooters surely can't see them. So we didn't fire our first shots on Saturday till like 1:30 before the fog lifted. And that whole time it was just this thick, heavy fog that was just, I mean, nothing could dry. Everybody had their crap out and they were hanging them up on trees and they were hanging them up on fence posts and things like that to try to get their gear dry. And, you know, it didn't do very well at all. So a lot of people dealt with being wet the second night after getting back from the evening ruck. So ditched this, should have taken this. So that's kind of my overview of Mammoth. The Mammoth Sniper Challenge and the gear that we took. We pretty much took identical stuff. He toted the tent, you know, like we kind of shared weight in different aspects as best we could. But yeah, very, very, very glad that I did this because I needed to experience it. And for all you people out there that follow survival channels and prepping channels and bugging out channels and stuff like that, if you think you're gonna put 40, 50, 60, 70 pounds on your back and you're gonna bug out, you need to start practicing now. Because I'm telling you, if you're trying to move at any speed at all, you're not gonna make it. It ain't no joke. I'm a fairly large, muscular guy. I can tote weight, but my legs don't like it when you're having to do it at a decent clip, like a 16-minute mile. It really made me start thinking about light versus gear heavy, right? You know, stepping off at 53, 54 pounds, I thought I was doing pretty good, but yeah, I'd love to be in the 40s next year. If you got any suggestions, if there's anything I missed, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear them. If you're interested in getting into something like this, I encourage you to do it because it's really fun and you learn a lot, and it gives you a goal to do next year. So like right now, I've got a goal. I want to finish Mammoth next year, and I want to shoot better, but I want to finish it. You know, you get a patch if you finish it. And next year I want that patch, and my teammate does as well. So I got a lot of stuff to clean up and pack away. I love you, I mean it. Training starts now for Mammoth 2025.